I just needed a jump off point, if you know what I mean. Oh my goodness, why do I want to make this particular video? Well, number one, because I haven't found a whole lot of sweet stuff out. I mean, I've tried, I've looked, as you all know. It doesn't always happen. But I have to stir my thankfulness up for what has happened in the past, too. If you haven't been able to tell already, looking at some of the angles here, what we're going to check out, and I really wanted to talk about it, is I grabbed a handful of what I felt were, excuse me, I'm bobbling you around, were my very best sugar quartz. I wanted to do this for a couple reasons here. As you take a look at this, if I can get my focus to cooperate with me. I wanted to do it for a couple reasons as we look at different angles. Because as you can see here, just in the high brush of it all, sugar quartz does definitely vary in color. It's all the exact same texture though. It really is. So we're going to check that out. That's a really cool thing about it. And awesome thing about it is you can see the variance in size. Look at the difference in size of this stuff. They can make it and use it for lots of different things. And look at the difference in colors here. It's all sugar quartz. So I wanted to really just focus on those diversities. I keep my sugar quartz all together in a separate storage compartment and have quite a bit of sugar quartz, but I wanted to highlight some sugar quartz for the purpose of diversity. Of course, as I said before, as we go around these things and look, I'm going to start with the biggest one down here at the bottom, which I found at the Bear, which I just love. It's a tannish piece of sugar quartz. I don't know if I can get my focus working. There we go. Look at that thing. At the Bear, number one. And I was really happy about this thing. You can see it's fairly large. How's it built? I have absolutely perfect natural light, at least for the moment in here. It's built awesome. But sugar quartz, unbelievable, smooth as a quartz, but yet you can tell it's got sugar in it. It's not real sugar. Anyway, great piece from the Bear to begin the diversity of sugar quartz, and it's just great to see the different types of sugar quartz. I'm going to go around, I think, this way today, counterclockwise. Here's a piece from Coyote Pass. Some of these, of course, have been seen before, but I want to do a close-up just to give you an idea of sugar quartz here in eastern North Carolina, show you from some angles just the way they made it, how it's been relieved. Look at the backside of that. My goodness, I hope it's coming in as good as I'm looking at it here. The difference in color, just great pieces. Construction. I love sugar quartz, one of my absolute favorites. Of course, I could say the same thing about rhyolite, as you guys have seen that stone here in North Carolina, or quartz. And this is a quartz, but it's particular and unique. Look at the sugar in this. Here's a piece pulled out, I think this calendar year, a relatively newer piece from Opening Sands. Very nice piece. My shout out today, which I told you I was going to do things and keep it going with newer videos, is for a site, and you can see it on my favorites or on my subscriptions, for Georgia Robin Terry. It's a simple channel. Go back in time, check out the videos. There's not too many. You don't have something better to do with your time. Check the videos out that both Georgia Robin Terry posts. Some of them are about different subjects, not all artifacts, but worthwhile. Again, I will encourage you, those who have a real heart for artifacts, look at this piece from Hidden Hill. Those who have a real heart for artifacts and provide a different perspective, no matter what, of, being able to appreciate these, let alone locate them, find them, save them, are worth knowing what makes them tick. That's why I would encourage you. And I'll put the link for Georgia Robin Terry. You check out their channel, check out some of the finds. Some of these finds, as we can see the whole group here, are over the top awesome. Just excellent artifacts. And I don't make that happen. It's not me that genders the success that I have here. It's God. It's God. Georgia Robin Terry, you're going to find a lot of great stuff on that channel. A lot of good times, and most of all, what I've got a lot of from Georgia Robin Terry is ways of thinking about things. Rob, I will tell you, is a master artist. He won't say that for himself. But, I mean, you want to talk about somebody who can nap quartz. It'd be Rob. Look at this piece, will you? It is sugar quartz. It is orange if you're picking that up. And it is awesome. So that's my shout out for Georgia Robin Terry today. That's an incredible piece, isn't it? My goodness. And this, nothing that, I mean, I didn't say anything about the piece, but they're just great showing these around. Here's one from the top of the hawk. If I stay still, I can get it in focus. Great little piece. You know, you look at that and you wonder what's on the other side for the color. And there you go. Unbelievable stuff, right? Sugar quartz. Man alive. Nice pieces. So as we roll along, I will say this about the link. I also put a link for political interest in current politics, and I think it's vital now with everything going on in the country and the nation. I know most of you who are supporting the North American Indian who collect artifacts and want them to be highlighted. Look at that point from Sacred Sands. And want them to be saved and recognized as a people, important part of our history. Well, we're making history right now politically. I think all the links that I put, especially the political interest ones, are worth viewing. If you know my heart for artifacts and know the things that I've shared, like the way I set things up or whatever, it comes from different deposits, different interests. Look at this piece. Talk about sugar quartz, right? I'm getting blown away just looking at these. Look at that craziness. That came from Old Faithful, over right next to Mecca. My gracious. Anyway, the political interest videos under the folder political interest news are all new. I just want to tell you that I am going to put a link to ones that I find are pertinent or I just recently found and said, man, I've got to share this. People got to hear this. That's incredible. Here's another great point found at Smoke Alley. My gracious. It's been years ago since these were even on film found. I've highlighted them in some other pieces, but this natural light I think is going to do really good for showing these off and sharing them. The thing about the political interest news folder is that they are all updated all the time. I keep the current. There's only about 8 there. 8 videos, but they change all the time, so make sure if you're interested, check them out because I keep them refreshed. Well, here's one from the jump off. Another brownish tan piece of sugar quartz. Some great stuff for a point. The thing that I like most about it is keeping the diversity. Remember Georgia Robin Terry for the shout out today, and I'll have a video link here to something that I find was new and just, it's awesome to be able to hear some people who are pushing hard to represent what is actually happening out there. I will say this because I can say it on video. Stop trusting our modern news cycle, whether it's CNN or CNBC or any, they absolutely lie. It's proven. There's no contest in the fact that they do. If you want to dispute that, go ahead. Write me. Tell me. Tell me the lie. Tell me the truth that you think is not a lie, and it's fine. But most of you on here understand what I'm saying. It's pitiful. It's pitiful. I mean, because of that, I've had to look for avenues as we get finished up here. Finish with some awesome ones. That's a nice piece. Avenues where we could find out what's happening in our country, let alone the world, in reality. What's happening with our relationships across the world, whether it's Japan, Taiwan, whether it's Russia. What's really happening? Do you know? You think it's important? I can prove to you it's important. It's vital. Look at this piece. And because of that, I want to make my effort to share portholes so that we can get an idea. If we don't know, if we're not informed, for example, if we don't know where we come from, and we don't know what's going on, then we certainly don't know where we're going. And that's a problem with a lot of the younger generation. Look at this piece. Unbelievable, right? So I'm going to do my part to try to share some of that stuff, the stuff I found and come across that is most vital. It's 10% of the stuff that I'm able to study and seek out and find out. For example, do you know out there what Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister, the president of Israel, has said for himself about Trump? Or maybe what the president of Russia, even if you have your biases about Russia, has said for himself about Donald Trump, in contrast to maybe Hillary Clinton? I know what world leaders have shared. I know what the leaders for Taiwan or Japan and these nations have shared. Unbelievable stuff, right? And I just think it's important. Enough of that. Political segment, shout out segment, and points. Of course, I know because I put a shout out for Georgia Robin Terry. This is one of Rob's favorite points. A Hardaway. The only Hardaway that I think I've kept. I've given a lot of Hardaways away, believe it or not. And I know a lot of you guys absolutely love Hardaways. I haven't figured out why yet. I think they're cool looking points. No doubt about it. I know they're supposed to be old. They're all old to me. They're all super ancient awesomeness. So, that's a piece of shirt quartz though, that's for sure. But look at these. Here's another great archaic piece. I remember finding this little teeny guy at High Rise. And then look at this piece, a screamer from Mecca. Almost a charcoal gray piece of sugar quartz. So as we finish up, appreciate you tuning in to Indian Trace. I'm hoping this is an opportunity to come into a museum of sorts, to see artifacts that you just don't get to see that often. And I've been in some museums. The things that we have, the things that we've collected, many of you guys out there, and I could just start naming names. These pieces are museum grade. They're better than you'll see at many museums as it is now. Most of the curators, many curators, they don't know as much about ancient Indian artifacts as we do. They don't. They'll pretend to, but they don't. Look at that piece. Sugar quartz. And the styles. Look at the difference in styles here, everybody, as I finish up. Time's been too long. But as I pan out here, thanks for tuning in, Indian Trace. Take some of these words to heart. And any time, write a note, drop a comment. I am open to discussion, and it's fine with me. That's what the nation needs to be about. Free speech, free thoughts exchanged in a civil manner. Really appreciate you tuning in, Indian Trace. And that right there, mercy. How do I get what I want to get in? That right there, that's Indian Trace.